You know, for pretty much all of medical history, we fought diseases with things from the outside. Pills, chemicals, you name it. But that's all starting to change. We are stepping into a revolution where the cure isn't in a bottle, but it's actually a living therapy that we can program inside our very own bodies.
And listen to this quote from Dr. Alex Marson. This isn't science fiction anymore, not even close. We are literally, right now, learning to speak the language of our own cells, giving them brand new instructions, using DNA to create what a lot of people are calling a living cure.
So the big question is, how? How on earth are we actually doing this? How do you take one of your own cells and turn it into a high-tech, cancer-hunting missile? Well, that's what we're going to dig into right now. We're going to break down the science that is truly changing everything.
Okay, so to really get the solution, we first have to understand the problem. And cancer, well, it's one of the trickiest enemies you can imagine, mainly because it starts out as a part of us. When you boil it all down, cancer is a disease of our own DNA. See, a healthy cell, like a skin cell, has a clear set of instructions telling it what to do. But when mistakes or mutations start piling up in that DNA, that cell can just lose its way. It stops being a team player for the body and starts playing for itself.
And that's really the key difference, right? A healthy cell plays by the rules. It has a job to do, and it knows when it's time to stop growing. A cancer cell, though, it's gone rogue. It completely ignores its instruction manual, only cares about its own survival, and just divides and divides, basically stealing resources from everything around it.
But here's the amazing thing. Our bodies already have this incredibly powerful built-in system designed to deal with rogue cells just like this. The trick is just figuring out how to let it off the leash. So meet the T-cell. Think of these as the special forces of your immune system. They are constantly patrolling your entire body, and each one has this unique sensor on its surface that's designed to spot and destroy anything that shouldn't be there. They are literally the guardians of your health.
The problem is, cancer is smart. It evolves, and it learns to be sneaky. And one of its absolute cleverest tricks is finding the natural brakes that are built into our T-cells. You know, the safety switches that stop our immune system from going totally haywire. And it snams on them. This pretty much makes the cancer invisible to our T-cell army.
So the first huge breakthrough in this area was a type of drug called a checkpoint inhibitor. Now, instead of attacking the cancer directly, these drugs do something way smarter. They just get in the way of that brake signal from the cancer cell. It's like they cut the brake lines, setting our T-cells free to finally do the job they were born to do.
Okay, so taking the brakes off, total game changer. But then scientists started asking, what if we could do more? What if, instead of just unleashing the T-cells we already have, we could actually build a better T-cell from scratch?
This is where it starts to feel like science fiction. Imagine giving those T-cell soldiers a brand new piece of equipment, like a receptor designed in a lab, something that doesn't even exist in nature that acts like a perfect GPS, programmed for one mission and one mission only, to search and destroy cancer cells.
This whole process is called CAR T therapy. And here's the play-by-play. First, doctors take a patient's own T-cells right out of their blood. Then, in a lab, scientists use a tool, usually a harmless, modified virus, to slip in a new piece of DNA. This DNA tells the cell how to build that lab-designed cancer sensor, which is called a CAR. They grow millions and millions of these newly programmed cells and then infuse them back into the patient, like a living, breathing drug.
Now, this is not just a cool idea in a lab. This is real. Let me tell you about Emily Whitehead. Back in 2012, she was just 8 years old. She had been through every possible treatment for her leukemia, nothing worked, and she was sent home on hospice care. As a complete last resort, she received this brand new, highly experimental CAR T therapy, and her cancer, which had fought off everything else, just vanished.
And get this, it wasn't some temporary fix. Emily Whitehead is now more than a decade cancer-free. That little girl who was given absolutely no hope, she's now in college studying to become a doctor herself. Her story completely shook the world and proved, without a doubt, that we could re-engineer our own immune systems to cure cancer.
Now, Emily's cure was done with a technology that was, believe it or not, kind of clunky. But in this incredible twist of fate, at the exact same time her life was being saved, a brand new tool was being introduced to the world that would give us almost surgical precision.
Yeah, the year 2012 was this unbelievable moment of convergence. You had CAR T therapy having this landmark success, proving its power in a real person. And at the same time, this groundbreaking scientific paper comes out introducing something called CRISPR, a tool that would completely rewrite the rules for editing the code of life.
So what is CRISPR anyway? Well, it was actually found in bacteria. It's kind of their ancient immune system that they use to chop up viruses, and scientists figured out how to harness it. You can think of it like a search and replace function for DNA. A little guide molecule finds the exact spot you're looking for, and then an enzyme acts like a pair of tiny molecular scissors and makes a perfect cut.
See, the viruses that used for those early CAR T therapies worked, but they were a bit like using a shotgun. They just blasted the new DNA in there and it landed, well, somewhere. CRISPR, on the other hand, is like a molecular surgeon with a laser-guided scalpel. It lets us not only cut out bad genes, but also paste new ones into an exact location. It gives us a level of control that we have never had before.
So when you combine our ability to engineer cells, like these T-cells, with the incredible precision of a tool like CRISPR, well, the future starts to look a whole lot different, opening up possibilities that were just unimaginable a few years back.
So what's on the horizon? Scientists are now using CRISPR to build even smarter CAR T-cells, programming them with new abilities to take on solid tumors, which have always been much tougher to treat. They're engineering cells to fight autoimmune diseases like lupus, where the immune system gets confused and attacks the body. And the big dream, the holy grail? Figuring out how to do all of these edits directly inside the body, with no lab required.
It really just brings us all the way back to that one huge idea. We are fundamentally shifting from an age of external drugs to one of internal, living therapies. We're learning the language of our own biology, and by doing that, we're gaining the power to write and to rewrite our own futures. The cure, it seems, has been inside of us all along.